Hello everyone, welcome back to my lecture series on strategic management, and we are discussing chapter 4, strategic planning and analysis. In this video we will be looking into two techniques, PERT, which is nothing but program evaluation review technique, and the second one is CPM, critical path method, which will be used extensively in project management. For every project manager, it is especially in case of a large projects, it is very difficult to manage these projects because it includes these large projects include many tasks, and it requires a lot of coordinated effort by all the departments. Say, for example, take a preparation of a budget. For example, preparation of a sales budget. What are the steps involved in preparation of sales budget? First step is identify number of items to be sold. Say for example, Maruti is having 5 cars in his kitty or 4 cars in his kitty. There are many, but I'll take only 4 here. Espresso, then they have Swift. I think the third one is we will take Ertiga, and fourth one is Alto. Okay, so there are 4 cars. So first step is to identify how many cars company is going to sell. Espresso in this month 10,000, Swift 5,000, Ertiga 3,000, Alto 15,000. Something like this. It will be prepared. Then who will be doing this? Sales team, correct? And then setting up a price. Who is going to set up the price? Again, sales team, because they know the market conditions, they analyze the market and also take a cost numbers and other things, then they will set the price. There are other tasks for it. Production team has to produce these goods. So production scheduling is next step. And the fourth step is costing of these activities. And after doing all those things, prepare a final budget sheet. Okay. So with that, I will come to know cost of this, and then here we will come to know revenue. Then the final budgeted profit or loss will be identified. Correct? This is a 5 step. I simplified it. Okay. Is all these things will go sequentially? First, this number of sales will be identified, then selling price will be identified, then this production scheduling will be done, costing will be done, and then it is not like that, right? It will passes through certain activities can be started immediately. For example, once we identify items, number of items, the first step is over. Once the first step is over, then the pricing will be set by sales department, as these two tasks will be done by sales department. After this, production team can start their production scheduling. At the same time, finance team can start its costing work. So they prepare costing, they prepare production parallelly, and finance will give it to this. Okay, and once we have production and all the costing information, finally we will be making a plan. So this is a fifth step. So when we do this kind of processes, this will be, it is like a network diagram. Many processes are connected, and with this we will come to know which cycle, like 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 4 5, which one will take a longer time, and that is the overall project timeline. We will see one detailed example after this. So I hope you guys are clear with what is network diagramming. So PERT and CPM extensively uses network diagram technique to schedule the project. Okay, to schedule the project. Once the project is planned, then it will help us in monitoring and controlling it. Okay. So what is PERT? PERT is a program evaluation and review technique which was developed by US Navy with the Booz Hamilton Lockheed consulting firm. It was developed during the Polaris missile and submarine program in 1958. Critical path method, CPM, popularly known as CPM, developed by DuPont, developed for chemical plant shutdown project, and this was also introduced in the same period. One important thing which we have to remember here is both PERT and CPM uses network diagram technique. Okay, and calculations are same. The diagram which comes from PERT or a CPM, both are same. The only difference between PERT and CPM is PERT works on probabilistic numbers and then CPM works on deterministic numbers. So as we discussed in the pre-example, whatever we saw, right, the preparation of a budget, it is more determined, right? Every company, like in India, the budget period starts from like the financial year starts from April of this year to March 31st next year. So prior to this, 2 months means in February or in January itself, budget cycle will start, and by end of March, budget will be published for everyone. So it is more determined that start from January and close it by mid of March and communicate it to everyone, right? So in that case, CPM will be used. When we don't know the exact end date and other things, so where we need to do some probabilistic assumptions, like in a worst case scenario, best case scenario, normal scenario, like with the three different assumptions. So in those cases, PERT will be used. So final diagram of CPM or PERT will be same. Only difference is in probabilistic. PERT is more probabilistic numbers and CPM is more deterministic number. This CPM and PERT, these are the techniques which will be used by many project managers. Here are a few examples of a project. So simply the project is something which will be having multiple activities and tasks where coordination is required. Okay, construction of a new plant, if you want to set up a new factory, or development of a new product, NASA space exploration projects, movie production, building a ship, government sponsored projects, relocation of major facility, like moving from one factory to other factory, maintenance of a nuclear reactor, installation of a MIS system or any software programs in a company, conducting an advertise campaign. So you guys know, right? Each of these things have multiple tasks associated. For example, construction of a new plant. Thousands of tasks are included in this. So, and the same way, movie production, there is again multiple steps. So, all those things will be put in a proper network diagram, and then the completion time will be identified under CPM and PERT using a network diagram. Here is one example, as we discussed earlier. Task A, this is a first task, and end with second task, which is nothing but a B. What is the first task? Forecasting of unit of sales. Who is going to carry out this? Sales department. And what are the number of days required? 14 days. So I'm starting my task here 1, ending on 2, task 2, that is ending it on 2. So it is 14 days. Right? Once I started a task, it is ending at point number 2. So by 14 days, I will be completing task A. Clear? So my node is starting with 1, ending at 2, where I am completing project, the task A, which is forecasting of units. Once the forecasting is done, what is the next task here for us? Pricing. Okay, so we need to price it. And there is a task C also says when you are at a point number 2, you can start another activity also, preparation of production schedule. Okay. These two tasks can be started at one shot. Okay, what is that? Pricing of sales, which I am starting at the point of a 2, and it is a fourth node, which how many days it takes? 10 days. And preparation of a production schedule, it takes 7 days. So ending node is 3. So after the 3, I'm going to do costing of this production and providing it to a 4. So starting is 3 here, the task D. So we are doing a costing and giving it to here. So work started from 1, it went to 2. With 14 days, we completed A. There are two tasks which are we are doing parallelly. One is on a pricing of the sales pricing, and the second one is uh, production schedule. Both are parallel, not dependent on each other. So both the tasks we started together, and then once pricing is done or a sort of production planning is done, costing is prepared and sent it to a sales team. Okay, the fourth task. Okay, the fourth task using all the information at the fourth task level, within 10 days, the summary, the final budget will come out. Correct? So this is how the network diagram will be built. So clearly calling out what is the node to complete one node, how much time it is required. Okay, A, and then sometimes the same point we can start two projects or two tasks, and sometimes two tasks can end at one single node here. So this is how the whole example or whole network very simple network diagram. Otherwise, you will be seeing multiple tasks in an organization and you will be putting a very complex network diagram. In this given example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tasks, 5 nodes are there. Now what we have to do is we have to find out critical path method. How many days is required to complete this task or this project? Okay, 1 to 2, we know it is. So the paths are first I have to complete 1 to 2 and then 2 to 4. Let me take 1 second. Okay, so the first path is I'm starting from 1 to 2, 14 days, and then 2 to 4, 10 days, 4 to 5. Okay, 14 plus 10 plus 20, 10. How many days? 14 plus 10 plus 10. It is 34 days are required. And second path is 1 to 2 is must. Then I have to come for 2 to 3, then 3 to 4, and then 4 to 5. 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5. So here it is 14 days plus this 7 days plus this 4 days and then this 10 days. Okay, 14, 7, 4, 10. All put together 35 days. So the same task, if we do it sequentially, these 5 tasks, how many days it will take? 45 days. When we drafted this in network diagram, because it is a one activity which can be started at a two activities which can be started at single node here. With that, the overall project timeline, we reduced it from 45 to now 35. Whichever is the longest route, that is called as CPM, critical path method, and that should be considered. as a overall project timeline, which is 35 days. So we brought down project number of days from 45 days to 35 days using CPM. So what are the advantages and limitations for this? It helps in, okay, it helps in project manager to do work, like plan the work critically and go into all the details. And it gives a forecasted numbers, as I told, for especially part is an estimation. So and it gives forecasting numbers in a worst case scenario, best case scenario, and a medium case scenario. And it requires a lot of data, and that it will present it in very precise manner. So it takes a lot of data and gives a simple diagram with the timeline and other things. So PERT especially, as I told, it is a three-way estimation. So what worst case scenario, best case scenario, and a medium case scenario. So it gives a proper opportunity for managers to analyze, and then it will be communicated to all the team members or a concerned parties, and that will be controlled. It will help in controlling the overall project execution. What are the limitations? It requires proper planning. Otherwise, as this whole project, like, okay, if it is a 2 to 3 months budget exercise, then it is more certain. But in case of a complex projects which run for a longer time, they will face a lot of uncertainty, and that uncertainty should be will hit a overall plan. And preparation of PERT and CPM network diagram might be a little costly because it takes a lot of effort and time from team members. And it is not suitable for very simple projects. As we said, we saw, right? Budget preparation is a very simple process, but in case of setting up a new plant, in case of doing a new product, in those cases, it is more useful. Okay, as initially I told, CPM and PERT, the only difference, basic difference, or a main difference is about estimations. PERT is more based on estimation, and CPM is more deterministic numbers. So, PERT, here are a few more differentiations, but everything will be based on uh, the estimation methodology. So PERT will be used for uncertain activities of a project. It is more determined activities in a project. So once we have three different scenarios and other things, so with a PERT, we will do some kind, it is like a planning tool. Once we have a planning, it will also be used for control. Here, it is also a control tool, but not only controlling time here, it also helps in controlling cost of the project, CPM. Orientation of a PERT is event oriented, whereas CPM is activity oriented. Evolution, basically PERT will be used for research and development project, and whereas CPM will be used for construction projects. Model, probabilistic model, and CPM is deterministic model. Main focus in PERT is only time, but here time and cost both. And in case of PERT, as we are using the three different estimations and other things, so it will be high precision here. In case of CPM, it is more reasonable. Activities management, most of the activities in PERT are unpredictable activities, but in case of CPM, these are more predictable activities. And PERT is used when activities are non-repetitive nature, but whereas CPM will be used when it is repetitive, when we know that things are certain and that should be sequentially or a network we need to put it in a networking diagram, then CPM will be used. If there is a critical and non-critical activities, in PERT case, there will not be any differentiation, but in case of CPM, there will be some amount of differentiation. And suitability of PERT is more for research and development project, and CPM is where everything is streamlined and other things. So, like a construction of a civil work, civil work, like construction of a house or something, or shipbuilding, etc., where we know that perfect timelines of a program. But these differences, if you see, mostly on certainty of a event. PERT will be used when uncertain events are there. CPM will be used when certainty is more. So these differences have now reduced. People use it as a complementary tools. There is no harm in saying PERT or a CPM. These all are interchangeable words in a recent world. That's it, guys. In the next video, we will discuss portfolio analysis. There are various tools again for portfolio analysis, BCG, Ansoff, ADL, and GE McKinsey. And we will see that in next videos. Thank you so much. I request you to please subscribe my channel and also share it with your friends and families. Thank you. Thank you so much.